Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. This should be a special schus. The Nishmat Rav Pinchas Weberman, who was just nifter, the great Rabbanim of Florida, many decades. My brother-in-law's grandfather. And the schus for Chayicha Vega Matzmichal Disbasia. And the schus Dina Bracha Baseser Adasa. And the schus Rav Baruch Hertz Ben Sarah Tzipara, B'Sashal Chalei Soil. Matan Ben Sarah. For Shlema. Bruce Victor Vasily Ravider. For Shlema. Continuing our series of Inyane Machshava, controlling one's thoughts, directing one's thoughts to the right place, based on the Torah of Marina Rabbein and Rana Mashgiach Zitzal, Volbe. Machshava has the power to make something gashmi into something ruchni, make something physical into something spiritual. And that's why it says that when the Vayavu Aaron Yisrael Moshe Lefnei Aaron and all the Zikanim went to eat bread with the father-in-law of Moshe before God. It says that if you're an enemy, you're reading with a Talmud Chacham a Suda of Tamir Chamim. It's like you're an enemy Ziva Shechina. You're enjoying the splendor of God's divine glory. That's why it says they went to eat bread Lefnei Elokim. Why is it Lefnei Elokim? Because the Tamir Chamim there. Not every Suda, of course, God's everywhere. But this Suda specifically was Nei Elokim because there were Tamid Chachamim there. Because I'll tell us that if a Talmud Chacham is like a Mizbeach, like a Mishkan. So if you bring a gift to a Talmud Chacham, it's like being Makriv Bikurim. It's like bringing the first fruits. If you give him wine, pour wine down his throat, it's like being Makriv Nisachim. It's like pouring wine libations. Because the Talmud Chacham transforms everything Gashmi into something Ruchni, into something spiritual. Because in his thoughts, he's in the physical world, and he transforms everything in the physical world. He makes it spiritual, he makes it part of his Avodas Hashem. As we spoke about the Mafli Lasos, the wonder. See Asher Yotzar, in the morning, Mafli Lasos, which means the wonder of connecting the Ruchni to the Gashmi, and then we go and tell Kai, Nisham Shanasatabi, into the Ruchnias from the Gashmis of Asher Yotzar. And that's the power of a Talmud Chacham. When he's sitting at a meal, he's saying Divrei Torah at the table. The table is a Mizbeach, and the Torah is the fire in the Mizbeach. Rav Tzadok says. So that's the union of Kedusha and the Mesilas Yesharim. Kedusha is taking the Gashmi world through your Machshava and turning it into something spiritual. The great Rabbi Yerucham quotes the pasuk, Ami, pasuk in Micha, Ma'asisi lecha ma'ali sicha, Anebi. My nation, what have I done to you? How have I wearied you? Answer me. Chazal say, I wasn't mechayiv you before I gave it to you. In other words, you don't have to put on mezuzah unless you have a house. You don't have to wear tzitzis unless you have a baga, unless you have a garment. Says Marina Rabbeinu, Rabbi Yerucham, Haklal shekol ma shenidrash, me'et ha'adam, kol ma shechayav, v'chayav ha'kadosh baruch hu et ha'adam, המעלות הכי עליונות הטביעה מהקדוש ברוך הוא כביכול בכוחותיו הטבעיים ואינם מוטביעים בכוחות נפשו. Whatever is required of a person, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu obligated a person, the highest levels, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put it in his natural capabilities, natural capacities. בואו ונראה דבר נפלא. Let's see something amazing. הנה אין עוד מובדו רום המעלות מעלת הדבקות שהיא תכלית וכליל כל המעלות הרי היא באמת נמצאת בתכונתו של האדם והאדם נפגש בזה בכל שעה ואינו עומד על זה מעולם ומיילו ואינו עוד מובדו there's no one other than God the highest level דבקוס כליל המעלס it's within us we meet it at all times. We don't even realize it. מעלה כל כך נשגבה וכל אחד מרגישה ממש בחוש. ואם האדם מתבונן בעיה זה מאמת ומברר לו יסוד התורה והמצוות וכל העיקר הנדרש ממנו. It's there for the pickings, but we don't think about it enough. But we can, like the Chazon Ish begins his Emunah B'Tachon, where he says that the world is a mystery, But when you have some quiet time, you just think, what's behind this mystery? You come to the Rabbanu Shalom. How did the world get here? There was nothing and nothing blew up. How does nothing blow up? It's nothing. And how does something blow up and then there's such incredible order in the world? What did one of the most famous Apikorsim say of our generation? He says, it looks like there's a God. It looks like there's a creator. But there really isn't. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know there isn't? You just said it looks like there is because there's so much order in the world. Because he doesn't want there to be. So he creates his own narrative. It looks like this is a rigged up job over here, this whole world. That seems there's no God behind it, right? I mean, but there is a God behind it, but we just don't see him with our eyes. Because how could it be that there's so much order? There's so much integrated complexity in the world, how everything works together. In the human body of animals, in vegetation, in the atmosphere, in the environment, the planets, the sun, the moon, everything. Just millions and millions of incredible rules. And we haven't even scratched the surface. There's so much more that we yet to know. And already there's incredible amount. Just the human eye is enough that it's an accident. Human eye is an accident. No. Man knew that it would make life easier if he would have eyes. So he decided, let's evolve an eye. So all together, they all got together, all these blind guys, and they said, let's evolve eyes together. And lo and behold, they had this miraculous thing, the human eye. Wow! And they said, oh, it would be really hard to live without a heart. So let's evolve a heart. Wait a second. What came first, the blood or the heart? Because the heart pumps the blood. So first you have the heart. There's nothing to pump, and anyway you're not alive. And it first came the blood, and what's pump? Oh no, it came exactly at the same second for everybody. And we knew we had to evolve it. We had to do it. It was all man's genius. It was all nature. Nature knew. Nature is so smart. Why call it nature? Why not just say the Rabbanu Shalom? So of course there's a God. It's not even a question. You walk into the kitchen and you see a box of cornflakes there. You know for a fact that somebody made this box of cornflakes. And the world is no less complex than a box of cornflakes. When you get your Sunday Times at your door, we used to get the Sunday Times. It was mamish so thick, it was taller than I was almost. As a kid. Now I'm taller. Thick Sunday Times, you have 800 sections, wow. No, it's just every Saturday, they just got together and they just started pouring ink. They threw ink in the air, and then all of a sudden it just came out to the New York Times, all those articles. Wow. Amazing. The world is more complex than the Sunday Times. So of course ain't no Vaad. But you have to be Ayman, you have to think about it. You have to be Mizbayneh. I'm talking now. My brain has billions of bytes of information in it. So much that I know. So many, every letter, every word, what every word means, in what context to use the word. What word comes before, what word comes after. It's all coming naturally. It goes instantaneously from my brain to my mouth. I can say any word I want. Pulu dulu lulu. That's what I feel like saying. I could go from language to language, from Hebrew to English, English to Hebrew, and if I was European, I'd know 7 languages. Just not. A pella, mamish a pella. So you have to use your Machshava. It's all in there. To be mindful. כל אחד מאיתנו מכיר שאין בכוחה של מחשבה לסבול שום רושם צדדי. כוח המחשבה כל כך דק ואצילי שהתנועה הכי קלה מפריעה כבר באדם. סרטוט הכי קל בציפורן על הקיר דיו כדי להוציא את האדם ממחשבותיו. Person's thinking, the slightest distraction, he's not thinking anymore. Somebody scratches the wall, up, he stops thinking. הפרעת המחשבה נולדת על ידי זה שהסרטוט הכי קל מפנה את עצמו את המחשבה, הרי היא נתונה כבר בדבר אחר. אם כן, מצד הטבעת כוח המחשבה, הרי אי אפשר, ומן הנמנע, ששום דבר צדדי הכי קל, וזאת המחשבה מופרעה כבר במציאות. ובפני שמציאות כוח המחשבה היא עד מלבדו, כשאין שום דבר זולתה. ממש בישימון ותסיעה שלא תוכל להיות שום הפנאה קודי. רק במצב כזה היא מחשבה. מותה של המחשבה היא דבקות, מחוברת ודבוקה כולה. אין עוד מלבדו. אהבה עד אין שיעור. Machshava can't have anything else. The second there's other stuff going on, you can't think properly. You can't think straight. That's why when the Torah was given, we discussed this in a previous year, there was complete silence, Chazal tell us. A dog didn't bark, a cow didn't meow, a horse didn't horse around, no sounds. A cow didn't moo. Why? I'll tell you why. Listen carefully. Because if one cow would have mooed during Kabbalah Torah, there'd be 600,000 men who would turn their face to look at the cow mooing. Maybe a few exceptions. That's the human thing. We can't focus. Look over there. Not to mention the women and children. Kids would run, oh, look at the cow. Hashem is giving the Torah. The answer is, the Machshava has to be kulo, merukaz. Focus, concentrate. Today we live in a door, no concentration. A, D, D, H, D, D, H. A, D, D, H, D, D. No concentration. People are sitting and they have their phone with them. You have your phone with you, studies show, you're not focused. You're not fully here. Even if the phone isn't on. Doesn't matter. Not here. Complete, nothing else exists in the world. What you're doing now. That's focus. Machshava is dvekus. The person's supposed to use his machshava to be davek be'ein od movado. The machshava cannot take anything else. If there's other stuff going on, then you're not focused. And so too, if in order to get to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to get to the ein od movado, that there's nothing else than God, you need to be focused with your thoughts. הרי כל עבודת האדם ליחדו יתברך, ומה הוא מייחדו? בהשתמשו בכוח המחשבה שלו להדפיסה בענייני תורה ועבודת השם. Our job is to assert God's oneness. And the way to do that is to use your entire thrust, your entire power of thought בענייני תורה ועבודת השם. כי לזה נתונה מחשבה וזאת היא סגולתה. That's the school of Machshava. To be able to focus completely on God and to appreciate His singular uniqueness. So it's kedai to look in the Sefer Das Chacham Mussar in Chelik Beis, Siman Ayin Zayin, and see what he says there about Arichos. But that's really our avoda. Our avoda is focus. Focus. Koach HaMachshava is a metzius of ein od milvado. That's the Koach HaMachshava. Nothing else can exist when you have complete thought, when you're just completely immersed in this and you're not anywhere else. That's what you're supposed to do when you daven. That's supposed to do when you learn, and anything you do. Like someone once said, if you do something and you're not intoxicated by it, you're not doing it right. You're sitting with your child, sitting with your spouse, complete focus. Ein od milvado. And then you use that same koach hamachshava of ein od milvado, nothing else exists, and you use that to make a Kodesh Baruch Hu ein od milvado, then nothing else exists but Him. And that's really how you're using your koach hamachshava. So you practice ein od milvadoing your thoughts, whatever you're doing. It can be work. You want to do a proper job. You're getting paid. And right now you're completely focused on your work. You want to do the best possible job. And then Memela, you have that attitude of Ein od, right now nothing else exists. And then you get to the Pnimis, you use that Koach HaMachshava to realize nothing else exists but the Rabbanu Shalom. So I'm hoping that in a future shir, we'll be able to see the Shtickle Rabbi Yerucham inside, because it's Pillai Plus. So thank you so much for listening, and Amir Tashem, we will continue next time, and we will see more incredibly important teachings about Inyane Machshava. Thank you for listening. Shalom, shalom.